Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of AEW Weekly Wrap Up. I am your host, Ethan Black. Today, we're going to talk about AEW Dark Elevation, Dark Dynamite, and preview of tonight's Rampage, next week's Dark Elevation and Dynamite. But before we get into that, start with some unfortunate news. Jay Briscoe, at the age of 30, unfortunately passed away from a car accident. This past Tuesday, that's what we found about Jay Briscoe passed away from a car accident. Tony Khan tweeted out about Jay Briscoe's passing. That threw a lot of people off, especially me. I was watching NXT when I found out about it. My condolences go to Mark Briscoe and his family, and also give a prayer to Jay Briscoe's kids, as they were a part of that accident. His two daughters were part of that accident. They were right out there in the hospital. But let's keep them in our prayers. I've been a big fan of the Briscoes over the last couple of years. Well, last 10 years, I should say. They just have excellent matches. They were my number one match of 2022 last year with FTR on that excellent dog collar match. But my condolences go to the Briscoe family. And rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. But and also, all around it, Tony Khan also tweeted they were doing a Celebration of Life tribute show that would be aired for free on Honor Club in the Ring of Honor YouTube channel. So I'm just going to run down the card real quick. This is spoiler, so I do apologize. So Where You will defend the Pure Talk against Hagen and Shino. Brady Shavir goes one with Mighty Mira. Eddie Kingston and QT Marshall go one-on-one, face each other. Ring of Honor Women's Chamber Athena goes against Madison Rain. Juice Robinson goes one with Brandon Cutler. Yuka Sasaki goes one with Sandra Moon. And Claudio Castro defends the Ring of Honor World title against Christopher Daniels. But now we'll run down this week's episodes of AEW. So we'll start with Dark Elevation from January 16th. So the opening match, we had a trios match. As Lisa Burns, Mia Shavir, Nyla Rose, and Emma Sakura versus Johnny Robbie, Fight versus Syra. Rose and Robbie starts this match off. Rose hits some correct strikes, takes an Emma Sakura. Then she deliberately didn't tag in Maria Shavir when she asked for it. Sakura with the We Will Chop use in the corner, followed by corner cross body. Rose tags in, and then Shavir blind tags her, and her and Rose have been arguing. So that Johnny Robbie takes advantage of it. She's chasing Vipers, who lays strikes with Rose, but Rose just lays her with military press, and Shavir lays in some kicks. Sucker gets tagged in, and they're arguing. Now the Rose Vipers tags in Syra, but Rose lays her with the spear, and then the Beast Bomb for the win at 2 minutes and 1 second. I give this match 4 out of 10. And then second match, we got Jericho Appreciation Society's Daniel Garcia goes one with Kevin Blackwood. Garcia quickly out wrestles Kevin Blackwood and makes fun of him. Blackwood responds with his own mat wrestling, and then he paint pressures Garcia. Garcia hits a knee, but he gets hit with a chop. They trade some strikes, and then Garcia shoves him off into the ropes and sends him to the floor. As soon as Blackwood gets back on, Garcia lays him with a back elbow. Garcia with some more chops and punches in the corner. Blackwood fights back with a boot. Hits a second rope dropkick and then explores suplex. Blackwood hits a double stomp for a 2 count. Blackwood counters a double leg with a small package. And then they trade counters until Garcia hits the bloody cross. That's that basically DDT into the knees. And Garcia gets the win at 3 minutes 45 seconds. I give this match 6 out of 10. Final match. I wouldn't mind these two going an extra 5-10 minutes. Hope they run it back in AEW. Then we go backstage. We see Hardy Party. That's Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy. They're interviewing about their 8-man tag match later on in the show. Hardy says they're excited. Cassidy objects being in his 8-man tag. He said he was new. Hardy and Ethan Page, but who's the 4th member? Hardy said Page wants an infinism, and Page walks it with Brandon Cutler to interrupt things. Page says he wants more of what Cutler brings. He wants Party Hard, and Cassie hasn't bring the fun lately. He wants to know how Page can bring the fun while Cassie's being a one cranky. Cutler has 2 contracts and works hard. Now he wants to be a Hardy Party baby. Page likes Cutler needs loving Hardy lately, but Cassie needs to get his stuff together. Cassie starts off. Page asks Cassie's dead ass, and Hardy thinks he is. So before the trios match, our Daivari comes in the ring with his team, with Zach Lane and Nick Ruiz. He said all of us needs to listen. They're here in Los Angeles, the bright lights of Hollywood, but the crowd is full of phonies, fakes, and pretentious wannabes. And said after they win, they are going to New Jersey for a real party. So we go to that third match now. It's the trios action Dark Order. Alex Reynolds, even on John Silver, go gets Ari Daivari and Zach Lane and Nick Ruiz. Uno and Daivari start us off. They lock up, and Daivari hits a side headlock, but they can't. He can't take down Uno with short tackles, but they trade short before hitting mid and drop the short block. Ruiz gets tagged in. Uno just lays him out with a chop. Silver tags in and then tags in Alex Reynolds, and they go do some tandem offense. Daivari gets taken down, but a distraction allows Zach Clayton to hit a clothesline, and he gets a tag and Clayton hits a suplex and a leg drop, followed by some uppercut, scoops in, takes in Daivari, who hits a frog splash for a 2 count. Reynolds and Daivari trade up rolls before Reynolds clocks it with an elbow. Ruiz and Silver both taken, and Silver starts running Royal. He hits a German suplex and a super K from him, followed by a long blower. He goes for the cover, but Clayton and Daivari broke it up. Uno and Reynolds sent Daivari Clay to the outside, and then they hit Ragnarok on Ruiz for the win at 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Not a bad trios match. I give this one 5 out of 10. We go backstage again, this time with Kensuke Takeshita. He's getting interviewed, but before he get a question from Lexington there, Don Callis interrupts things. He brings up the crazy schedule Takeshita has as he wrestles with DDT as well. And Callis says losses are losses, and he also said Takeshita has all the talent, but he needs help and leaves Takeshita with his card. In the fourth match, we got some tag team action left faction and Gunnar Arbe. That's Preston Franz and Roosh. Goes against Diego Fallon's and New Japan's Strong's Mysterioso. Fans and Fallon's get us going. Fallon straight strikes with Fans, who just no-sells him. Then he lays him out with a spine buster. Mysterioso takes him and hits Fans with some elbows, but Fans lays him out with a discus lariat. He was going for the cover, but he pulls himself off of it. He takes Rushin and hits the Bull's Horn for the quick win at 1 minute 33 seconds. This was a squash match. I give it 2 out of 10. After the match, LFI takes the mask off Mysterioso, lays out Diego Fallon's with a discus lariat. Hosted the assistant Prince Extension Corps, and basically they choke both of them out with it before they head out. And then for the 8-man tag match, Ethan Page cuts Matt Hardy's music off. Page says people get happy like him and Matt Hardy. He plays with the crowd, brings up Brandon Cutler as their partner. Music restarts, and they're all dancing, as that's for Isaiah Cassidy. So our 5th match, 8-man tag team action. It's the firms Ethan Page, Isaiah Cassidy, Matt Hardy. Teams up Brandon Cutler to go against Chaos Project as Luthers and Pentago, who are teamed up with the Wingmans, Pierre Avalon and Ryan Nemeth. Cutler and Avalon start us off. They lock up. Avalon hits a short block. Cutler hits a clothesline. Hardy tags in, works on the arm. Isaiah Cassidy tags him. They double team Pierre Avalon. Cutler takes back and hits some dancing jabs. So Pentago gets tagged in, but Cutler takes him out. Cutler's getting attacked in the Chaos Party women's corner while Page votes the referee on the mic turn around. Ryan Nemeth gets tagged in and drops Cutler with a slam to the mat. Avalon takes back and hits some cheap shots Ethan Page, but Cutler takes him out, gets him an airplane spin. They both ended up dizzy, so Pentago takes him, but Cutler falls down away from the corner. Page tags in, then he immediately tags in Isaiah Cassidy, so Cassidy jumps over and attacks Chaos Project. Cassidy with a cheap shot to Ryan Nemeth, hits a jumping flatliner to Pentago, goes for the cover, but Luther broke it up. Matt Hardy takes out Luther and Nemeth. He sets up Cassidy for a dive, and Cassidy flies, takes out everybody on the outside. Hardy hits some Pentago with a side effect. Cassidy with Swanton Bomb, but Ethan Page wanted to tag in, and he gets a tag and then covers him for the win at 4 minutes 41 seconds. This was a fun 8-man tag. I give this match 6 out of 10. Fun little 8-man tag. So match number 6, we got 1/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champs, Brian Cage. He'll be into Willie Mack. Lucha Underground comes back again. Mack hits the ropes, hits the running kick to take down Brian Cage. Cage catches Mack with a catatonic that gets control of the match. But Mac fights back with right hands. Cage lets him up again with a knee lift. They hit the ropes. Mac hits a float over neck breaker, followed by Explorer. Then some running attacks and quarters up running senton. From the into the corner back at a 2 count. Cage runs into a back elbow, but he catches Mac on top and hits a super kick. Then electric chair face buster for a 2 count. Cage hits Max with a bunch of elbows. Goes for a roll on, but Mac ducks and hits a small drop and he kicks up. Standing moonsault at a 2 count. Cage lands a boot, hits a jumping tornado DDT for Mac. Hits a head kick. Cage lands a super kick. They're just going back and forth. Cage comes up before Cage comes on the ropes with Dyslirium, and they're both down. Mac hits a stunner. He goes to the top, but Cage avoids a frog splash, hits the pop-up powerbomb, and then a swinging neck breaker for the win at 5 minutes and 44 seconds. This was a fun match. I give this match 7 out of 10. If I had to pick one match from this episode of Dark Elevation, I go check out. Sorry, 2 would be Cage and Mac and Garcia and Blackwood. And these 2 will face up again at Rampage, but I'll get more than that when we round down the Rampage review. 7th match, non-title match, Ring of Honor Women's Champion. I think it goes with Cena saying. If Sang wins, she gets a future women's title match. Saying forwards an elbow, she trips over Athena, but Athena just catches with a knee strike, hits some strikes, hits a big boot, then stomps in the corner. Sang tries to fight back, but Athena just knocks her down, hits a kick, followed by reverse headlock, backbreaker right into the crossface for the submission win. At 2 minutes, 5 seconds, this was a fun little match between these 2. I give it 6 out of 10. But since Sang won lost, she doesn't get a Ring of Honor women's title match. After the match, Athena Sang throws her into the barricade, hits a powerbomb into the code-breaker inside the ring. She continues to beat her down to we get the return of Yuka Sasaki, making her return from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. So Sasaki comes down alone with elbows, and then that sends Athena to the other, and she retreats. Then she holds up the Ring of Honor women's title match. Please give me this match. And honestly, like Paul White and Matt Menard, not really their fault, but they should have known who was coming out because they had no idea who she was. That's only my little nitpick there, but can't wait to see this match down the line. Then we go backstage. Prince Nana gets an interview. He thinks the embassy will be on the road for 2023, but Dark Order crashes his interview. Nana doesn't like Dark Order, but they offer him a spot anyway. Nana doesn't have a reason to join Dark Order. He smells good as a man of luxury and would never join them. Alex Johnson brings up he once sent a couple grade to Prince Nana to help build an orphanage. Never heard back from him. Nana runs off Dark Order, try to figure out which of them stinks. That was a pretty funny segment. So before the main event, Black will come, but Butcher and Blade start brawling on the entrance ramp before Top Flight takes out both teams with stereo dives. So the main event, we got Blackpool Combat. That's Ring of Honor World Champ Claudio Castagnoli. Pure Chamber Yuta go against Top Flight. That's Darius and Dante Martin. And the Butcher and the Blade in a triple threat action. So once the match started, Darius and Yuta start the match, trade some strikes. Dante gets tagged in, hits some corner offense. Top Flight do some quick tags to isolate Yuta. Yuta fights back, but the Butcher just levels Dante, and he gets a tag in because you can tag any member match. Butcher takes out Dante. Him and Yuta start going at each other. Yuta was go for a dive, but Butcher catches him, so he takes in the Blade to go for a double team move. Snake Eyes into a clothesline. Blade hits another clothesline, takes back in the Butcher, but Yuta fights out, but Butcher out of the corner before Butcher lays him out with a right hand. Butcher takes it with some cheap shots to Top Flight. Yuta was able to fight again, hits a German suplex, takes out the Butcher. Both men tag on. Castagnoli finally gets in the match. He goes wild on the Blade. Some corner uppercuts. Hits a line before the Bunny tries to save the Blade. That distraction worked though as a Butcher hits Castagnoli with a boot, but Castagnoli fires him, gets Butcher in a giant swing. Gets about 10 spins before the Blade cuts that off. Dante takes him blind on the Butcher. Things break down. We get the big move spot before Dante hits the Blade with the nose dive to get the win for Top Flight. At 4 minutes and 58 seconds. This was a fun main event. I give this match 7 out of 10. So if I had to pick 4 matches for this week's Dark Elevation, I go Cage Mac, the triple threat tag match, Garcia and Blackwood, an 8-man tag. So that was Dark Elevation from January 16th. Now we go to AEW Dark from January 17th. This was taped from Portland, Oregon. This was before Battle of the Belts and Rampage. Well, so the first match, Kier Hogan's one with Danica Della Rouge. Start over a lockup. Hogan hits a back open a big boot, falls with a Diamond Hurricanrana. Rouge comes back with a flapjack, still right hands, but Hogan hits a drop toe hold and a hip attack. Hits a pair of back elbows, splash in the corner, falls with a sliding single foot drop kick, leg drop, and hits a back suplex for the win at 2 minutes and 29 seconds. This was pretty much a squash match. I gave it 4 out of 10. Second match, 136 Rainbow Six-Man Tag Champs Brian Cage goes on with Carl Renders. Cage sends Renders in the mat, hits a thrust kick, does some bicep curls with him in hand. Before Renders hits a pair of drop kicks, he goes for a springboard move by Cage. Catch him, get him on his shoulders. Renders tries to go for a Hurricane, but Cage just lays him over the power bomb. Hits a second one with a turnbuckle bomb, then a lariat for the quick win at 135. Squash match, I give it 3 out of 10. Our third match, tag team action, is Jericho Appreciation Society's Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara goes against Brian Cook and Damos. Garcia and Damos lock up, kick the match off. Garcia hits a draw kick before Cook and Guevara tag in. Guevara offers him to Cook, but Cook was going to shoot. Guevara pulls away and shoves him in the corner. Hits a snap suplex, then gloats. Hits a corkscrew draw kick that sends him to the outside. I almost mixed the two names. Guevara takes in Garcia. Garcia runs for a slice heels before he hits a chop to Cook. Heels on plays for. Oh, sorry, Guevara does, and my apologies. And Garcia does the same thing. Garcia gets him back and hits a suplex. Guevara takes and hits the GTH for the win at 4 minutes and 3 seconds. I give this one 5 out of 10. Not a bad tag team match. In our fourth match, Action Andrade goes one with Trustbusters Ari Daivari. So before the match, Daivari hits the ring. He makes a proposal to Andrade. He said he offers to get him to lay down the center of the ring for him. In return, he'll get money and protect him from the JAS. Andrade seemingly accepts the offer, and as soon as the bell rings, he lays down. Daivari, when he tries to go for the cover, he rolls him up. Daivari kicks out, and he falls with dinner DT and pair of chops. They teeter on the top rope for Andrade pushes him off. Daivari begins with the referee, allowing Andrade to roll him off. From the distraction, Daivari kicks out at 2. Andrade hits a roundhouse kick. Daivari fights back with a clothesline, then kicks in midsection and chop. Andrade comes back with a handspring back elbow, falls with a lariat, followed by a neck breaker. Hits a split leg moves up from the top, but that only got a 2 count. Daivari makes a comeback with serious chops, but Andrade hits a Kamagiri and a torpedo. Then puts his match to bed while connected with a sitting shooting star press for the win at 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Fun little back and forth match. For a 5-minute match, I give this one 5 out of 10. Fifth match, Powerhouse Hobbs goes on with Jaden. Powerhouse Hobbs sends Jane across the ring, but Jane comes back with serious kicks, but Hobbs just no-sells him and hits one of his own. Hobbs hits a delayed vertical suplex, hits him with a spine buster, gets him on the shoulder, and hits. It looked like a burning hammer to me. I'm just going to say burning hammer to get the win at 1 minute 18 seconds. Squash match, 2 out of 10. Glad Hobbs is back on AEW TV. Now let's just get him on Dynamite. We'll be happy. Sixth match, we got JS's Jericho Appreciation Society members Matt Menard and Angelo Parker go against Midnight Heat. That is Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson. JS attacks Midnight Heat since the bell rings. Angelo Parker sends Ricky Gibson to the outside, and Reigns sends the right hand and Eddie Pearl in the corner. Matt Menard tags in, does the same thing. He takes Parker back in. They drop Pearl to the top turnbuckle before Gibson takes in, Menard trips him. Parker takes in and hit a double DT on the Gibson for the quick win at 1 minute 46 seconds. Squash again, 3 out of 10. In the main event, this sixth and final match, Blackpool Combat Club's Brand 1 World Champ Claudio Castagnoli and Pure Champ Wheeler Yuta goes against the Butcher and the Blade, pretty much a rematch from Dark Elevation, just without top flight. Both teams began to brawl on the ramp as Castagnoli and the Blade exchange forms as Butcher's choking Yuta on the barricade. Butcher joins Blade beat up Castagnoli and sits his head face first into the chair. Butcher sends Yuta into Blade's knee and connects with a lariat. Butcher sends Claudio into the ring. We get the match officially started. Butcher hits a gut wrench suplex, takes in the Blade. Blade chokes cuts on in the middle, then hits a right hand, takes in the Butcher. Butcher comes back and hits him, chops and right hands to the midsection. Blade takes him, but Cusso lays him over to vertical suplex. Butcher gets back in the ring, hits a side suplex kick to his chest. Says on the top turnbuckle face versus him in the corner. Blade takes in and Cusso lays him out with some right hands and uppercuts. Blade responds with a chop and unlocks a sleeper hold. Casanova escapes, but the Butcher takes back and lays him out with rights and lefts. But Casanova was able to get back with his Zakuri, hits a crossbody and sends Butcher into the corner. Casanova makes out take the Yuta as Butcher makes take the Blade. Yuta hits a series of forms. Joff sends the top, hits an elbow drop, hits a German suplex will help on Casanova. Hits a double team DDT, then the rocket launcher for the win at 8 minutes and 31 seconds. This was a great tag team match at this week's Dark. I give this match 7 out of 10. For this week's Dark, the 3 matches I go recommend will be the Garcia Guevara tag match, Andrade and Ari Daivari, and the main event Blackpool Cup versus Butcher and the Blade. So that was AEW Dark for January 17th. Now we go to the AEW Dynamite from Fresno, California on January 18th. So we kicked Dynamite with a more of Jay Briscoe graphic. Then we go to our opening contest for the All-Night title. Orange Cassidy defends Jay Lethal. And the stipulation is if Jarrett, Sami Zayn, and Sanjay Dutt interfere, pretty much like if they're at ringside, Sanjay Dutt will be fired. So Lethal goes for the figure 4. Orange Cassidy counters it for a 2 count. Lethal sends Cassie to the outside. Lethal staying in control. And then sends Cassie right into the ring post. As Jarrett, Singh, and Dutt were all at ringside, sitting in the crowd. Danhausen appears out of nowhere as an usher. Asks for their tickets. Then Best Friends basically join in the barricade as well. So Lethal kept going top rope. He was trying to go for a Hail of the King. That's that top rope elbow drop. But Cassie kept rolling out of the way before Lethal jumped down. Cassie put his boot up, but Lethal tried to go for the figure 4. But Cassie countered for a crossbody, stun dog mount, and a spinning DDT that got a 2 count. Lethal comes back with a lethal combination. Cassie dodges the lethal injection, tries to go for the orange punch, but Lethal hits the lethal injection. But Cassie rolls to the outside. Chuck Taylor dumps his popcorn on Sanjay Dutt. As the referee stops Dutt, Jared tries to hand a guitar to Lethal, but Danhausen grabs it, plays a little tune, and runs away with it. Lethal's chasing him around ringside. As soon as he gets back to ring, Cassie nails him with the orange punch for the win to retain the All-Night title at 9 minutes and 7 seconds. Fun little opener match. A little too much interference to my liking. I give this match 6 out of 10. So after the match, Sami Zayn gets in the ring and tries to chokeslam Chuck Taylor and Trent Burrow are best friends, but Sanjay Dutt saws him so he doesn't get fired. Dutt then stops Jeff Jarrett from using the guitar on Cassidy. Cassidy falls with kicks to Dutt, but they were able to get out of the ring before Cassidy could finish. Segment ends with a best friend's hug and Cassidy fishes the popcorn. I mean, it was after the match, technically, Sami Zayn could have laid him out. But whatever. Second match, tag team match, we got the 2/3 of the Trios champs, the Young Bucks at the Mad Nick Jackson, goes against Top Flight, that is Dante and Darius Martin. So Dante and Nick Jackson start the match off before both teams come and go back and forth, go to backside from Nick to Dante in the corner. That sends the pitcher. We come back, Matt Jackson's got Dante in the corner. Nick sends down Darius Martin. Dante was trying to make the tag. Young Bucks hits Risky Business for a 2 count. Nick Jackson makes a tag to his brother Matt. Dante was fighting on made hot tag to Darius, who goes right to Matt Jackson. Hits him with a diamond crossbody for a 2 count. Darius is in control before Nick stops him. He hits him with a super kick, tags in Matt. The Young Bucks take control for Top Flight double teams Matt. Dante takes out Nick with a moonsault on the outside. They follow right there. Red Eye does the powerbomb nosedive combo. They never officially, I just seen on Twitter there from Darius there at the Final Battle pre-show when they did the Mike Bennett. So they hit Matt. They go for the cover, but Nick breaks up at the last second. Nick takes out Darius with a Canadian Destroyer. Somehow got a 2 count. Young Bucks hits Darius with a Doomsday Device, paid tribute to the Briscoes. They go for the cover, but Dante broke that up. Dante tries to dive to Young Bucks on the floor, but he got laid with a super kick. Young Bucks try to hit Darius with the BTE trigger. Darius was able to dodge it. They hit knees. Darius was up Nick to get the shocking win at 12 minutes and 12 seconds. This was a fun tag team match between both teams. I give this an 8 out of 10. I would not mind a third match between them because when they debuted, they faced the Young Bucks before. I recommend going checking this match out. And then we were supposed to hear from the World Tag Champs, The Acclaim, but the Guns, Austin and Cole walk out in the series move after what happened to Rampage. If you missed my Rampage, go check out my podcast, Walk with Ethan. So Cole and Gunn tells the fans to be quiet as they're the best tag team in the world. Austin Gunn says the Acclaim embarrassed them last week, and they're the ones who made the Acclaim popular. Champs even got their dad. So the champs come out. Austin calls for the music to be covered. I'd stop Max Caster from doing his rap. But Caster asked for the music again, says how they only got a job because their dad. Calls them the ass boys. Some about Hunter Bine line. His last line got censored. Like they know what that was. They get in the ring. So the Acclaim Guns start brawling, but Billy Gunn says all four of them. Billy says he's sick and tired of this and tells the Acclaim to act like World Tag Team Champs. Then he said next week they'll sit down, hash it out, and he said 2 words for them. The fans said suck it, but he said family therapy. So we'll get that on Dynamite this Wednesday. Then we go backstage. Renee Paquette is with Heyman Page, and she asks Page how he's feeling. Page says physically he's fine, as Renee told him that Moxley was pushed to be better self. Page says he understands the nature of wrestling. He was put to sleep, but he knocked out Colt to beat him. And Moxley says someone else say he could say it to his face and glad he'd do it again. So Renee asks Page what to do next. Page says he needs to amend some offenses that should be amended a long time ago, but he doesn't clarify what he's talking about. Page asks Renee how Mox is feeling, but Renee said he'll dust himself off. Page goes to tell Renee something, but he changes his mind. Fight long saying between those two there. And we get our third match. We get Ricky Starks going with Jericho Appreciation Society's Jake Hager. Hager corners Starks in the opening going before putting his purple bucket hat. Starks takes the hat and puts it on before doing the old school, but the Hager knocks him off with a power slam. And then Starks sends Hager to the outside where Hager catches him and sends him into the ring post before connecting with a big boot. Hager puts his hat back on, sends Starks in the barricade. That sends us to a pitcher-in-pitcher break. We come back from pitcher-pitcher. We see a table set on the outside as Hager tries to powerbomb Starks from the ring through the table like they seen last week, but Starks was able to get out. Starks sends Angel Part into the table and sends Menard down Menard for Hager hitting Hager with a springboard crossbody. Starks puts the boot up when Hager tried to go for the Hager bomb. Before he hits a DDT for a 2 count. Menard and Parker get on the apron. Hager accidentally takes out Parker, giving Starks the opportunity to connect with the spear to get the win at 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Not a bad match between those two. I give it 4 out of 10. It was just better. Then after the match, the rest of JS, Danny Garcia, Christian, and Guevara run to the ring, but Starks escapes to a crowd. Then we get highlights of Adam Cole's return last week. Will comments for quotes to how he felt and how the crowd didn't disappoint one bit with their reaction. Cole said he'll run anybody over who says his way to the top. Then we see a very quick shot at the AEW World Champ MJF watching on Discuss. Then we come back from break. Shivani is with Jericho, Garcia, and Guevara. Jericho fears of Ricky Starks, but he requests a tag team match for him and Guevara, known as Late Sex Gods, to go against Action Andrade and Ricky Starks. Garcia said he wants to be a tag team partner instead. And Guevara said he gives a spot if he beats Andrade on Rampage. Guevara gives Garcia new gear. It's leather pants. Jericho said no matter the team, Starks lucky streak will end. So non-spoiler, it would be either Leseska or Garcia. That's Garcia Joe, whatever the heck he's calling them. But I'll get into that more later. So the fourth match, we got Bryan Danielson going on with Bandito. So Bryan Danielson's on the road to challenging MJF for the AEW World Title at Revolution in a 60-minute Iron Man match. But he has to win the rest of his matches up to February 8th. So last week he beat Takeshi in an excellent match. And now this week he goes against Bandito. So the match started with they shake hands. They both play with their Fresno crowd for a bit before Bandito was able to send Daniels down, walks into Romero special. Danielson escapes it and puts one on himself. Bandito applies a stretch and Danielson, who powers out using his neck. That was a cool spot. Bandito hits a tope and a tope kind of hero on the Danielson to go to pitcher and pitcher. We come back. Bandito is in control by slamming Danielson face first in the mat. They trade chops and uppercuts for Danielson corners Bandito with kicks. Bandito lifts up Danielson in a vertical suplex, doesn't hold him up too long. Bandito goes for a frog splash, but Danielson puts the knees up and locks in the lapel lock. Transitions into an arm bar, but Bandito was able to make the rope for a rope break. Sorry. Oh, there. Bandito blocks the last one. Danielson goes for a knee strike. Danielson counters to 21 plex and knocks Bandito down. Roast him up for a 2 count before they go for more top toe holds and roll ups. Danielson knocks Bandito to the outside, where he hits a jumping knee. They go back in the ring. Bandito hits a fallaway slam flipping fallaway slam. That's what I was looking for. Hits the 21 plex, but somehow Danielson kicks out of it. They go back for some kicks before Danielson counters a brainbuster, but Danielson was able to hold him up. Danielson rolls him up, hits the Pasico knee to put Bandito away to get the win at 17 minutes and 52 seconds. Fun. This was another banger between these two. I would give this match 8 out of 10. I'm sorry, 9. Actually, I give this 9 out of 10. I recommend going checking this match out. Got a great match here on Dynamite. Then we go to the back. We see the world champ MJF in the back. Said fans are claiming he's not worthy of his position in the company. MJF said they must have forgotten how he became AEW world champ, and he'll take this personally. He calls the fans fickle for all the moments he gave them. MJF says Daniel is like that with Max. There we go. Wow, that was a tongue twister. But Danielson doesn't want MJF's mask to slip off. Danielson might think he's a dragon, but the dragon isn't ready for the monster behind the mask. Then we cut to Saraya, Tony Storm, Hikaru Shida, where Saraya's mad at Shida for tossing a candlestick in their tag match last week. Storm makes an underhand comment on Shida being home ground talent before Saraya tells Shida to stay in the back for his doors match against 9 Gale later. We find out next week Brian Nielsen will go on with the Machine Brian Cage. Then we go to Renee Paquette, who's with Cage and Nana, as MJF walks in, hands Cage an envelope of money. He said he doesn't care if he wins or loses, but he cares about him breaking Danielson's arm. Cage said he could work that out before MJF slaps him. Cage went to grab MJF by the neck and asked what was wrong with him. Nana tells him to think about the money. And MJF said there's no greater motivation than anger, and next week he should use it. Match. So we go to our 5th match. Will Knight goes on with Tony Storm. Though Nightingale is in control of the match, but Storm was her in the corner just for Nightingale to do a cartwheel. Nightingale tries to shake Storm's hand, but Storm just slaps across the face. Knocks her out of the apron with a hip attack. Storm hits an accident off the apron as Shida hits under the ring with a candlestick. That's when it's the break. We come back from break. Nightingale powers up full Nelson, hits a splash in the corner before it takes out with a kick, and then hits a spine buster for a 2 count. Storm dodges a cannonball, hits a Sweet Cheeks music in the corner, then a DT off the ropes. That gets a 2 count. Nightingale comes back with a pounce, and Storm in the corner where she hits a cannonball for a 2 count. Saraya gets on the apron to distract Nightingale. Storm rolls her up using the tights for the win. At 7 minutes and 13 seconds, I give it 6 out of 10. So we're getting the Outsiders versus AEW homegrown talent, and we basically got a WWE finish in this matchup. So after the match, Saraya and Storm continued the attack on Nightingale for Ruby Soho makes the save, as Shida just stood there in the middle of this whole storyline. Excalibur runs down the matches for Rampage and Dynamite, but I'll do that at the end of this review. So we hear from the firms Ethan Page and Stokely Hathaway, who are angry about losing a Jungle Hook last week. And Page says there's no more fun games before their match on Friday. Then we go backstage for Renee Paquette with Takeshita. That's how he feels about his match with Danielson last week. Takeshita says that Danielson is his hero. He was so much. He talks in Japanese. Renee asks what he said, and he called MJF an a-hole. Then we go to our 6th and final match, the main event for the TNT title. Darby Allin defends against New Japan Pro Wrestling's Kushida. Match begins when both of them try to take each other down the mat before they go to the outside for throwing each other into the barricade. Kushida continues to work on the arm of Darby. Darby blocked a kick from Kushida, hits a code red that got a 2 count. The LA Dojo's DKC and Kevin Knight try to comfort Kushida on the outside for Allen takes over the cannonball. Kushida was able to knock him up, was able to get away, hit Darby with a cross arm breaker. We go to break. We come back from break. Kushida is still in control, hits a crossbody Pele kick, but Darby Allin comes back with a Scorpion Death Drop. Excuse me. Kushida knocks Allin to the outside, and then he takes him down with a diving knee strike. Allin screaming, and his shoulders hurt. They start finding the apron for a knock each other down to the floor. Allin puts Kushida on the chair. He goes to the top, try to go for something, but Kushida catches him in the armbar. That was a great catch. They go back inside, go to the top. They go to the top. Kushida hits a Spanish fly while hanging on to Darby Allin's arm before going right, locks in the hoverboard lock. And then Kevin Knight and DKC give Sting the white title toss him for Allin, but Sting tosses it to the crowd. Darby escapes the hoverboard lock and hits the last hover for the win to retain the TNT title at 13 minutes and 38 seconds. This was a fun main event between these two guys. I give this match 8 out of 10. I recommend going checking this match as well. Then after the match, they shake hands. Kushida asks for another chance down the road at the close of this week's Dynamite as Excalibur says, "We are thinking of you, Jay Briscoe, and he's in Hearts and Minds." This was another great episode of AEW Dynamite. If I had to pick 3 matches to go check out for cherry picking, I say go check out the Top Flight Young Bucks match, Bryan Danielson versus Bandito, and the TNT title match. So I'll run down these matches real quick. So for tonight on Rampage, we have the Ferns, Ethan Page going on with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. 1/3 of the 6-man tag champs, Brian Cage goes with Willie Mack in a rematch from Dark Elevation. Can't wait to see that again. Those who never give up bad matches. We got the baddies, TBS champ Jay Cargo and Layla Gray go against Darren Asher, but we found out I'm just gonna give the spoilers. The Fanny twins, that's Jada and Jordan Vanity. And Alshin Andrade goes against Dale Garcia, and if Garcia wins, he'll replace Sammy Guevara in that tag match on Dynamite. So Dark Elevation this Monday. Spoiler alerts, here are the matches. Sky Blue goes against the boys. Butcher and the Blake goes against Beef Canada's Flex McCallaghan and Richie Slade. Some more tag team matches left. Faction and Ganabre, that's Preston Vincent Rush, go against the Papacitos, Papacito Blanco, and Papacito Negro. Emerson Sakurai goes on with Broke Havoc. In trios action, we get Dark Orders, Evil Uno, Alex Round, John Silver. They go against Ryan Emmett Avalon on the Wingman, and Serpentico reps in the Spanish Announce Project. And Ari Davari and Tony Nese goes against Big Fonz and Jordan Cruz. And next week on Dynamite, this one sent out, we only found out it would be either Les Sescott, Stephen Carvalho, or Chris Jericho and Dave Garcia go against Ricky Starks and Ashton Andrade. And more match will be announced tonight on Rampage. So that was AEW there. I'm your host, Ethan Black. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, guys. And have a great night.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.